What's going on, man? I'm outside with it. I just wanted to come to y'all real quick. I got about 20, 30 minutes. I want to come to y'all real quick, man. I got a word for today. And really, I want to share what happened to me today. So y'all know what to do when y'all come in, man. Hit that like button, drop a comment in the chat. And man, before we get into it, I just want to say I appreciate each and every person, man, that has sewn into the channel, whether it's been a like, share, comment, super chat, cash app, all that type of stuff. We definitely appreciate it. So I want to say thank you to everybody who's sewn into the channel. But yeah, man, y'all come on in, man. Y'all know what to do. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Come on, man. Let me know. And I get about 2 minutes and I get into it. I got my burn barrel going right now. I'm burning a lot of scrap wood and stuff around the property. Now, man, I ain't gonna lie. I love when, you know, when it starts to become a little cool outside, fall time. I don't necessarily like the winter, but I do like the fall because it cools down a lot, and then I'm able to burn a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bonfires, all that type of stuff is fun. But yeah, man, y'all come on in, man. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Hope everybody having a good day today. What's today? Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. Hope everybody having a great Wednesday, man. Y'all hit that like button too, man. Drop a comment in the chat. Let me know where you tuning in from. Let me know. But man, today we gotta learn from our losses. We gotta take the lessons from the L's. What's going on, JT? Oh, you in Jessel? Okay, you right down the street from me, man. Okay, Jessel. Shout out to Jessel. Yeah, man, you right. Next town over. Shout out to Jessel. Man, appreciate you for tuning in. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button for me. Man, and come on in. Let me know where you tuning in from. But today we gotta learn from our lesson. I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me today. Man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of in my feelings right now, but you know, I'm just reflecting, man. And I feel like this is a timely message, man. I feel like it's a timely word. So y'all come on in. I gotta come check you out for sure, man. Yeah, nah, I'm Long County, man. So like I say, I'm right by Jessel. So yeah, man. Let me know, do you homestead as well? Let me know if you homestead. But if y'all just come in, man, drop a comment in the chat, hit that like button, man, and we gonna get into it. So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened to me today. So I'm getting up, you know, I'm fixing the kids some breakfast and stuff like that. I decided today I wanted to, you know, make some pancakes for the kids. You know what I mean? Cause you know, they'll eat, you know, regular little stuff, you know, when we don't feel like cooking a breakfast and stuff like that. And so I'm checking my camera, mind you, trying to get this homestead off the ground. Okay, oh yeah, man, email me, shoot me an email, man. As a matter of fact, go join the Set Apart Tribe on Facebook, man, and we can talk about it. You right down the street. So if you want to email me, man, we can be in contact, man, and I can come check you out. You can check me out, whatever the case may be. So just shoot me an email, sapgardens1@gmail.com or dre@setapartgardens.com, either one of those. But so I'm cooking, right? And so like I say, my dog just gave birth to puppies, right? So I'm whelping a litter of puppies right now. So I put a camera in there in the brooding room, or the whelping room, whatever you want to call it, where my dog is whelping the puppies and where the puppies are at. And so, you know, I get a notification when she move around or something like that. So I just check the camera and I see that it's one puppy that she's kind of isolated from the other puppy. So I go in there. I'm like, let me just go in there and check, you know, make sure everything is okay. Because like I say, I got the camera in there, so I'm able to see what I want to see. And so I go in there, and so she's just standing over this puppy, looking at the puppy, and she kind of looking up at me with like some sad eyes. And so I look at the puppy, and the puppy is just limp. And so I'm thinking like, oh man. And I turn the puppy over. What's going on, Sound Walker? What's going on, Sound? So I turn the puppy over, and I see that it appears that she might have smothered him, that she might have laid on him. But the puppy is still moving a little bit, but you could tell, like, you know, the puppy is kind of limp. So I pick up the puppy, and I'm trying to think fast, what do I do? So I start doing CPR and things like that, you know, tapping them on the side, and then start rubbing, sternum rub, stuff like that. And then I'm blowing in the puppy mouth, you know what I'm saying, to breathe air in it. Because I'm like, I don't know if it's something obstructing the airway or whether, you know what I'm saying, whether she might have just laid on the puppy or whatever. And so I'm doing all this, and the puppy's moving a little bit and stuff like that. Happy Hump Day. Hope y'all are having a blessed week. Yes, most definitely. Hey, happy Hump Day to you as well, Sam. Yes, definitely having a blessed week. And so, you know, long story short, I'm giving the puppy CPR for like 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, man, I wonder, like, because the puppy is like one of the smallest ones out of the bunch, right? And not too small, but like, you know, kind of small. And so I'm wondering, I'm like, man, I'm wondering, you know, did she reject them? Is she not giving them milk? Because I would put my finger in the puppy mouth and it would seem like it's trying to suck, but it's just so weak. And so, you know, I'm like, well, maybe let me go and get some milk replacer, you know, to try to feed the puppy, because maybe the puppy might just be weak. And mind you, like, I checked the puppy yesterday, all of them was good. So, you know, I went and did that. So I came back and man, the puppy had died. The puppy had died. You know, I was trying to do the milk replacement, but the puppy had died. So what I figured is that, you know, she laid on the puppy, you know what I'm saying, and suffocated it by accident. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to do that type of thing by accident. And so, you know, man, I'm like, wow, that just it was just a downer. You know what I mean? And this is not the first time I've lost a puppy in a litter. Like you gone. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but like if you breed long enough, and this is with any animal, because I've lost sheep, I've lost goats. You know what I'm saying? Baby chicks, it's a part of it. Like my last litter that Luna had, I lost 2 puppies out of that litter, and that's when she had first given birth to them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like they probably were stillborn or whatever. But this ain't the first time that I lost a puppy. I'm just saying that to say this. And so, man, it just put a damper on my mood, because I'm like, man, I tried to do everything I could to save this puppy. Didn't want this puppy to die, you know. But at the end of the day, that's just what happened. And then it just brought it in my spirit that, man, you got to take the lessons from your losses. So the first thing you got to do, man, when you take a loss is reflect on it. See what happened, what could have been prevented. You know what I mean? Like, because I was just thinking, I'm like, man, what could I have done different? Like I say, I got the camera in there so I can see what's going on. I got the camera in there. And you know what I mean? I'm checking throughout the day, you know what I'm saying? And she's a good mother, so I know like it wasn't intentional, whatever she did, but it's like, man, what could I have done better? Or what can I do better for the future? So whenever you take a loss, and look, even when I got a video on this too. If y'all go back further enough, probably like 2 years ago, I did a video on, and I was talking about my sheep. She had given birth to twins, and while she was giving birth to the other one, she had suffocated the other one. And so, you know, I was just saying, like, you're gonna take losses sometime, pretty much. And so I was just like, man, what can I do better? So it's like, okay, well, I can set up parameters. I can go and check more often. You know what I'm saying? I could do this, I could do that. So whenever you take a loss in anything, right? Whenever that crop might not come in your garden like you want it to, you might have put in a lot of time, and then this plant just not growing like that. You fertilize it, it's not growing, it's dying or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. It don't got to be puppies or animals dying. It don't got to be none of that. It could just be something that you taking a loss on. It could be an investment that you just made and you were hoping to get a return, but you just not getting that return on investment like you thought you would. But it's important in that time when you take that loss to reflect on it. Like, think about play it back in your mind. Play back everything in your mind and ask yourself, what could I have done better? And just reflect on it, right? And once you reflect on it and you kind of like, you know, work through it in your mind, then you have to allow yourself to feel. You see what I'm saying? Like, because, and this the thing, like, man, a lot of times we like, man, we just got to take it on the chin. No, you feel a certain type of way about this. It's okay. It's okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? You putting in all this work and something don't pan out how you want it to, you're going to feel a type of way. You're going to feel a type of way. Don't allow yourself to feel that. Work through that feeling and say, man, this sucks. You know, let me know if I'm making sense in the chat, y'all. Let me know if I'm making sense in the chat. But it's like, you know, this sucks. Allow yourself to feel that, because a lot of times we don't allow ourselves to feel. It's just like we soldier up. And don't get me wrong, you gotta soldier up. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, chin up, chin out, chest up, whatever, however that saying goes. You know, it's gonna be like that. It's gonna be like that. But at the same time, allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel sad, angry, frustrated, because that's a big one, man. We don't talk about that in the homesteading community as much as we need to, but it can be frustrating. It can be very frustrating, right? Like, just on the day in, day out. What's going on, G-Mama? What's going on, man? Y'all drop a comment in the chat if y'all coming in, if y'all tuning in. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Let me know where y'all tuning in from. Let me know if this message applies to you. But as somebody who's homestead, and I see JT on there, he's like trying to get this homestead off the ground. And I'm pretty sure you can understand where I'm coming from, JT, as far as the frustration when you're trying to get something off the ground. When you working day to day, and when you doing things and you trying to make progress, you know what I mean? You're trying to build, you're trying to establish, but it's just like, you know, sometimes you're gonna run into losses. You'll run into roadblocks, obstacles, where you got to work through them. And people don't talk about that. As you working through a lot of these obstacles, as you working through a lot of these losses, you're gonna feel frustrated. You're gonna feel okay. So you feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying, Peter? I mean, not Peter, JT. Somebody said First Peter 4:2, thinking not strange. That I got confused, my bad. But yeah, no, definitely thinking not strange. But yeah, so you feel me, JT? Like you gonna feel frustration. I feel like, and this is me. I don't know if it's y'all, but I feel like one of the biggest feelings that I feel, in this journey or have felt in this journey is frustration. It ain't more so more so anger or sadness or discouragement. It's more so frustration, because it's like when you have and I was just talking about this yesterday. I was just talking about vision yesterday. Having a vision, beginning with the end in mind, right? When you begin with the end in mind, when you have a vision, when you have ambition, when you have the drive, right? And when you're working the plan out, when you're working it through action, you're doing this and you're running into all type of roadblocks, you're running into resistance. The main feeling that I have felt is frustration, right? It's just frustrating. It's like, man, like I'm doing what I need to do. I mean, that's what I feel like. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I'm putting in the work. I'm planning on doing this. I'm doing that. So the number one feeling that I have felt is frustration as a homesteader. All right. Some people it may be discouragement. Some people it may just be, you know what I mean. It could be sadness. It could be happy. I don't know. I don't know what your feelings is. Anger, because some people, everybody don't process emotions the same way, right? But I would say for me, it's frustration. Losing a puppy kitten sucks, but we can use these lessons of loss on our farms to teach ourselves as well as our children to deal with greater loss, like losing human loved ones. That's a good point, Sam Walker. That's a good point, because this is just the sad truth about. And I wouldn't even say sad truth, but this is just the truth. In life, you're gonna take losses. You're gonna take losses, and then guess what? At the end of life, you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose something, which is your life, right? Now, of course, those of us, who are believers, we have the hope and the expectation of eternal life. But I'm just saying in life, I'm saying in this life right here, at the end, you gonna even lose, which is your life. You gonna give up the ghost. We all gonna lose in this life. There are gonna be losses, but there are gonna be wins too. There's gonna be trials. There's gonna be mountaintops. There's gonna be valley points. You Let me see. All right, let me know if I'm back, y'all. I'm finna put it on. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Somebody was calling me. I'm gonna put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hold on. Let me know if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back, fam. Let me know if I'm back. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, G Mama. Appreciate it. But you just said something though, Sam. You just said something. You're gonna lose a lot more. Okay, cool. You're gonna lose a lot more in life. So it's like whenever you take small losses, medium losses, large losses, it's important to reflect on those losses. It's important to reflect and take away the lessons that you could take. But you gotta allow yourself to feel the loss, because it's just something about working through emotions and feelings. Because I feel like especially a lot of us, and I speak more so to males, but I feel like a lot of times us as men, especially young men, when we take a loss, whether it be a loved one or whatever, we try to stuff it. You know what I mean? We try not to feel it. We just try to ignore it or whatever, push it to the back of our mind. But that's not healthy, because you're not truly working through that loss. You're not truly learning from that loss. You're not truly learning from it. And like I said, a lot of times, especially men, I'm talking to men right now, like a lot of times we're not really able to feel or show emotions. But it's important that you feel whatever loss. You feel what I'm saying? I don't care if you just lost, you got this fruit tree and it just died on you out of nowhere. I ain't talking about, big loss. I'm talking about any kind of loss, right? Allow yourself to feel that loss. If you just got a fruit tree and you've been watering it, fertilizing it, you got it in a pot, whatever, and it just died on you, Allow yourself to say, man, you know what? This sucks. I feel terrible. I feel frustrated. I feel discouraged. Because when you're able to express your feelings in a healthy way, then you're able to work through that loss and take what you need to take from that loss. Because when you try to avoid thinking about the loss, you don't truly learn the lessons that you need to learn from the loss. You don't learn, and so you're bound to repeat the same mistakes because you haven't truly reflected. You haven't truly learned anything. You ain't learned your lesson. That's just like a child. A child do something wrong and they get in trouble, whatever, and they get their phone taken, they can get on punishment or whatever, and they don't reflect on what they just did. They don't reflect on it. They gonna repeat the same mistake over and over again until they are forced to say, you know what, I was wrong because I did this. Like I ask when I get onto my children sometime when they do stuff wrong, especially my oldest son, I say, do you know why you got in trouble? Tell me why you got in trouble. Because I want him to reflect on that. I want him to say, well, this is the reason why. Okay, so do you understand why I did what I did? Do you understand why you got a spanking? Do you understand why you went to timeout? As long as you understand that, you're able to think, okay, so the reason why this happened is because I did this, and I'm not supposed to do this because of X, Y, and Z, because it's wrong, might be wrong morally, or I'm not supposed to be mean to my siblings, or I'm not supposed to do this, I'm not supposed to be this, whatever it is. And then when a child understands that, they'll be able to take the lesson from that and not repeat the same mistakes. But if they you get in trouble and take a loss or whatever, and they don't reflect on it, you don't allow them to reflect on it, then they're going to repeat the same mistakes because they don't understand what they did wrong to end up in that predicament. Let me know if I'm making sense. They don't understand it. So that's why we have to give understanding. Like back in the day, like when we used to get in trouble, like my auntie, she'll make us write like the 10 commandments and stuff. She'll like say if we was lying or stealing or whatever, thou shalt not steal. She'd say, write it down 50 times. And so as you writing it down that 50 times, you like, well, I'm writing this down because I was stealing. And stealing is wrong. Thou shalt not steal. It's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So we was able to get the lesson like, yeah, we in trouble because we stealing. But we were reflecting on that. And so all I'm saying is that when you don't reflect on your losses, when you try to just move over it real quick and not really work through those feelings and allow yourself to feel, then you're not truly taking the lesson from it, and you're bound to repeat the same mistakes over and over again and take the same losses over and over again until you see what I'm saying? Until you really take the lesson from it. Our home was impacted by a May 16 tornado. By the grace of the Lord, our garden in the backyard was spared. Wow. I'm sorry to hear that, Stephanie. I'm sorry to hear that. But yes, I'm thankful that your garden was spared. But yes, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. But you gotta allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to feel, right? But this is another thing too. On the contrary, you got to give yourself some grace too, because see, this is another thing too. And you know, when you allowing yourself to feel, you hold yourself accountable too, because you're reflecting. Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right. Because when you reflecting this stuff on your losses, you hold yourself accountable. You beat yourself up too. You know, especially if you're a person that, you know what I'm saying, of course has good character and stuff. Like when you taking a loss, you looking at yourself and what you did wrong. You're not blaming nobody else. You're not seeking to blame nobody else, right? Unless, like I say, unless your character is flawed and nothing is ever your fault. Most of the time when you take a loss, you're going to look at yourself first and say, man, like I ain't gonna lie, sometimes a lot of times I be beating myself up like, like, why did I do that? That was so stupid. Like if I do something and, you know what I'm saying, I take a loss or something happens, I'm like, why did I do that? I'm so stupid for doing that. And you hold yourself accountable. You beat yourself up a lot of times. So when you take a loss and you're reflecting, you're going to hold yourself accountable. In addition to holding yourself accountable, like I said, you got to allow yourself to feel that. But in addition to that, you have to have grace on yourself too and say, you know what? It happens to the best of us. It can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? Like I just say with the puppy, with the loss of the puppy that I just had today, right? This ain't my first time losing the puppy, so I know this is what comes with it. This ain't my first time losing the animal. I know this is because before I bred dogs, I bred sheep. I had sheep, you know what I'm saying? And I've taken a loss with sheep. I've taken a loss with goats, chickens, turkeys, you know what I'm saying? Like you buy, like for instance, like you may, I just had some chickens hatch, right? I bought 20 eggs. Guess how many of them hatch? Only 15 of them hatch. Only 15 of them hatch. The rest of them, either the chick didn't make it or it was an egg that wasn't fertilized. So it's like even in that I took a loss. But guess what? I still understood like this is just what comes with it sometimes. If you incubated eggs any amount of time and you hatched your own eggs, you know that 100% hatch rate is not common or not as common as people may think. But at the same time, when it does happen, you're thankful because you understand like most of the time you're not gonna get 100% hatch rate. Most of the time you're not gonna get 100% hatch rate. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna take a loss. So like with the loss of the puppy today, you're making sense. If we don't allow ourselves to feel the pain or the sting or the loss or mistake we made, we're much more likely to repeat the actions that created the negativity. Exactly. I'm gonna hit on that. But with the loss of the puppy today, I didn't you know what I'm saying? I didn't beat myself up too bad after I allowed myself to feel and held myself. It happens to the best of us. I should be back now. Somebody just tried to call me. I should be back now. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me. But you gotta understand that it happens to the best of us. So you gotta give yourself grace. Because when you give yourself grace, you're able to, like I said, you've already worked through your feelings. You've already taken the lessons. You held yourself accountable. But when you when you have grace on yourself, right, you are able to look at it in a different light and say, you know what, it happens to the best of us. Let me just use this to get better. I'm not going to beat myself up. Because when you beat yourself up, nothing good comes from that. Because then you just, it leads to all these other feelings. All these other negative emotions. You don't want that. You don't want that. You want to be able to hold yourself accountable, but you don't want to sit here and overly condemn yourself. So have grace on yourself. If you take a loss, I don't care if you just took a loss with money, you know, a big investment. I don't care if you took a loss with a crop where you planted a few acres or whatever and disease hit it or a tornado hit it or whatever. If you just took a major loss, after you hold yourself accountable, you reflect on it, you allow yourself to feel it, have some grace on yourself. Have some grace on yourself. What's wrong? Okay. Have some grace on yourself because you don't want to sit here and have all these negative emotions to the point to where it cripples you from going out and being more productive and taking from the loss the lessons and applying what you need to apply. My big brother was in FFA in high school. One of his classmates that was raising a sheep and it ate itself to death because she left a 50-gallon food container unlocked. Wow. And see, when something like that happens, of course you're gonna beat yourself up because you're like, man, how could I be so stupid as to let this happen? But then you gotta think like, well, I mean, it happens sometimes. You know, people forget. I might have been tired that day or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, you definitely like that. That's crazy though. That's crazy. That's crazy. 50-gallon. Dang. But yeah, but we have to take the losses. I mean, we have to take the lessons from our losses and understand, man, it happens. It happens. Like that's like when I used to like for instance, one time I remember I wrecked my grandma's car. And I was being stupid. I was young, 18, you know what I'm saying? Not paying attention. And I ran into somebody. And man, I beat myself up that whole day. But my grandma, my grandparents, my parents, they ain't condemn me. They said, guess what? It happens. I done wrecked cars too. And that made me feel a lot better because it's like, you know what? You got to have a little grace on yourself because the world is already going to beat you down. The world already going to beat you down. You already took the loss. I mean, it ain't no getting that back. So what more can you do by sitting in here condemning yourself? What more? How is that productive? How is that productive? Because what people don't realize, it's a difference between accountability and condemnation. Condemnation makes you think there's no return. Everything is just all bad now. Like, it'll have me thinking like, man, I done lost one puppy, man. Not realizing I got 8 more puppies in there, right? She had a healthy litter. She had a healthy size litter, right? My last litter that I had, my dog had 11 puppies and 2 of them didn't make it. So I still had 9 puppies left. Yes, it's sad that these 2 were lost or that this one was lost today, but I need to screw my head on straight, take the lesson so I make sure the rest of these 8 puppies grow up to be healthy and thrive and go to great homes. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like nothing good comes from condemning yourself, overly condemning yourself. Accountability and condemnation, they 2 separate things. It's accountability is healthy because you can say, you know what, that was my fault. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna get better. But when you condemn yourself and say, oh man, all is bad and this, you're not gonna be able to think clear, you're not gonna be able to go forward and be productive. You feel what I'm saying? But definitely allow yourself to feel, give yourself grace. And this is the last thing, right? Take the lessons out of it. And I already kind of hit on this, but when you reflect and when you going through all these things, I feel like this is how you properly work through, you know, taking a loss, right? You reflect, you know what I'm saying? You allow yourself to feel, you have grace on yourself, you hold yourself accountable. But then after all that, now is the time to take the lessons and say, okay, what can I do going forward? Now it's time to start making a game plan. Okay, what can I do going forward to ensure I should be back, y'all. My bad. People keep calling me. I put my do not disturb. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But we're going to keep rocking. I'm on the last point anyways. But you got to take the lessons from it. Now's the time to start making a game plan. Once you done feeling and being frustrated and all this once you done with all that, and it's like, now what? Now what? You done felt, you done been frustrated. You done had grace on yourself. You know what I'm saying? You done worked through this. Okay, what can I tweak? What can I make better? What can I do better going forward? Now is the time to start making that game plan and taking that lesson and saying, okay, going forward, this is what I'm going to do different. This is the lesson that I learned from it. We got to learn lessons from everything in life, every loss. Even if it's a loss of a loved one, what lesson can you learn from that? Man, life is short. Life is too short to be playing. We could be gone in an instant. I don't control my life how I think you know what I'm saying? Because life can leave you quick. You feel what I'm saying? Like I just had a cousin that passed away last week. Me and her the same age. We was born in the same month. You feel what I'm saying? Went to school together, all that, grew up together. What was the lesson that I took from her early death? It was the fact that, man, we don't know how much time we got. And now ain't the time to be playing. Life is real. Death is real. Loss is real. You see what I'm saying? So how are you living your life any differently? You see what I'm saying? Something we all lose every day is time. So we have to steward it properly to feel like we are using time wisely and being fulfilled. Absolutely the night way. Shout out to the night way too. Yeah, we lose time every day. We don't get that back. We do not get time back. You see what I'm saying? So let's just say you were just doing something or a project or whatever, and you realize you just wasted a whole bunch of time. This still applies to that. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, my bad, y'all. Oh, appreciate that, Sadiq. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. But yeah, we lose time every day. You could have just went through something where you lost a whole bunch of time. And you realize, like, man, you know, I can't lose that much time no more. So what do I do going forward to ensure that I don't lose my time? You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, we all gonna take losses, no matter big or small. But we have to process our losses in a healthy way and take the lessons from it. You have a blessed week. Gotta go. My grandfather's calling me on FaceTime from NC. Shout out to NC. Look, I'm about to get out of here too. But I want to bring that to y'all, man. And like I say, man, this is just everyday stuff that I feel like we all have went through. You see what I'm saying? Like, you gonna take a loss. If you ain't took a loss today, you probably gonna take one tomorrow. If you don't take one tomorrow, you probably gonna take one next week. No matter how big or small, you gonna take a loss. You feel what I'm saying? You gonna take a loss. So when you take a loss, reflect on it, allow yourself to feel, hold yourself accountable, right? But give yourself grace. And then once you do that, start gathering the lessons. You could teach those lessons to your children. You could teach those lessons to your grandchildren to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? When you gonna do this, make sure you have this set up, make sure you have that set. Like, lessons are not just for us going forward. They're for our children and our grandchildren and those coming behind us. You feel what I'm saying? That's why it's important to take those lessons from the losses so you can teach them to others so they don't have to take the same losses as you. You see what I'm saying? So again, man, take the L's, take the lessons from losses, right? You gonna take an L. That's everybody gonna take an L. But what are you gonna do with that? That's the question, right? So I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and go, man. Sorry about that. I know we only 30 minutes. We usually do 45. But you know, we just want to chop it. I just want to chop it up and bring this to y'all, and we had a good conversation. So yeah, man, please hit that like button. You know, share this live with somebody who you think will benefit from it, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.